The sun is heavy on my shoulders. The reins are warm in my hands. And the only sound I hear is the steady rhythm of my horse breathing. Out here, everything feels quieter, softer, simpler. I had just finished one of the best rides I've ever had for a while. And for once, I didn't feel judged or the pressure to be anyone else. I was just being me, and I was okay with that. I was okay with not being the best student or the perfect daughter or the person who always says the right thing at the right time. So I sat down and started crying. Right next to me was my horse, Olympia. She didn't move or react. She didn't look at me like, girl, you need to fix yourself. She just stayed there. And I realized that her behavior didn't show me that she didn't care. It showed me that she wasn't judging. I remember looking at her and thinking, why is she staying next to me instead of walking back to the paddocks right after a ride? And maybe that's why I felt calmer, because she decided to stay next to me. She wasn't judging. She was just responding to what I felt. I felt safe. Sitting there with Olympia made me realize something. Feeling safe like this, without stress or pressure around people, is very rare. We overthink. We second guess ourselves. We're worried about saying or doing the wrong thing, being too much or not enough. And deep down, we know others are doing the same. Here's where it comes to judgment. We tell ourselves that if we judge first, others won't judge us. Somewhere along the way, it turns into a game of prey and predator. Sometimes I feel like I need to become the predator, always on guard, always ready to protect myself. Because if I don't, I risk becoming the prey, the one who's exposed and vulnerable. That's when judgment becomes dangerous, not because it's always harsh, but because it quietly teaches people that being themselves isn't safe. When that sense of safety disappears, trust breaks. And when trust breaks, connection becomes almost impossible. People become guarded. They hold things in, and relationships start to stay on the surface. And this is even harder for teenagers. You want to speak up in class, but you hesitate. What if someone laughs at me? In friendships, you start filtering yourself. Maybe you don't say how you truly feel, because that might make you look like you're too sensitive. Over time, it becomes exhausting. And adults feel it too. They cancel plans they are looking forward to and avoid honest discussion with partners, friends, and families because expressing themselves feels too risky. If we learn this pattern from each other, maybe it's time to learn it from something else entirely. I know what you're thinking. Horses? Really? And no, it's not just because I like them, although I do. We're talking about them because the way they interact with each other teaches something important about trust, connection, and safety. We like to think of ourselves as the most advanced species of all. But horses remind us of something simple. It comes down to the basics: presence, coherence, and the ability to create safe space with each other. So, let's break it down into 3 things horses do naturally and how we can apply them to ourselves in our own relationships. First, presence. Horses notice everything. They are incredibly present, fully aware of its environment and the situations they are in. They notice a breath, the smallest tension. They do not just see, they perceive and respond to what is actually happening. Researchers such as Sophie Fallon have found out that horses can read subtle social cues just by observing them, a phenomenon called social eavesdropping, while aiding survival by allowing them to react to their environment. Being present can also shape how they connect. When a horse is fully aware of its environment, it adjusts its behaviors in ways that keep the group calm and predictable. I remember that day. Olympia was fully present, calm, not judging or expecting anything from me, simply standing there. Somehow, that was enough. That presence was enough to pull me out of my chaos. So now, the first lesson that horses teach us is that when we show up fully, judgment fades and real connections can finally happen. But presence alone is not enough. You can show up fully for someone and still feel disconnected from yourself. That's where the next lesson comes in. Coherence. Animals act accordingly to their needs. Eat when they are hungry, rest when they are tired, and respond to what is real for them. And there's no performing, no pretending, just an alignment between what they feel and what they do. Horses take this even further. Their actions match their internal state, which makes them predictable to be around and safe. For us, the lesson is simple. If we first are honest with what we feel, what we need, and where our boundaries are and act accordingly, we create that same sense of safety in our relationships. So establishing, communicating, and behaving accordingly to your needs in presence of the people you love, it's not selfish. It's being just in alignment with yourself. So presence brings you into the moment. Coherence allows the moment to be safe. When these two are combined, the next lesson starts to form. Mutual safety. Horses do not just focus on themselves, they respond to each other. In a herd, calm behaviors create calm responses. Safety is not one-sided, it's something created together. And for humans, this matters just as much, because in our relationship does not work when only one person feels safe. Real connections to be real need for the two people to feel comfortable enough to be themselves. So, when you're with someone, ask yourself, am I really here? Am I listening? Am I paying attention? Am I allowing the moment to exist without rushing it? And then ask, am I being honest with myself? Am I acting in a way that fully reflects what I truly need and feel? Or am I just trying to fit in or avoid conflict? And finally, what am I creating in this moment? Am I creating tension? Am I creating a space where both of us can feel comfortable enough to be? Judgment is everywhere. We see it online, in school, and in relationships. It is so normalized that we barely even notice it anymore. But normal does not mean harmless. Judgment creates distance, makes us defensive, and prevents us from truly connecting with each other. So, if we want for relationships to feel real, we need to move away from judgment and towards something else. Something Olympia told me. The opposite of judgment isn't perfection or agreement, but understanding, respect, and the ability to create a space where someone can simply exist without protecting themselves or putting us aside. Standing there next to me, she didn't try to fix me or analyze what I was feeling. She was simply there, fully present. Somehow, that was enough. And that is the feeling we should be all aiming for. The next time you're with someone, instead of trying to fix or control the moment, try something simple. Be present. Be honest with yourselves. Create a space where others can feel it too. Because when you do that, relationships stop feeling exhausting and start becoming real. Thank you.